One wrong click when bridging your crypto and your entire portfolio could vanish into the digital ether forever. Last Tuesday, a liquidity pool glitch wiped out six figures in seconds, proving that fees are the least of your concerns. You aren't just moving assets, you are navigating a minefield of smart contract vulnerabilities. Here is how to use the secret underlying layer that veteran whales exploit to keep their funds locked tight while others lose everything. Bridge your tokens. Sit back, grab a glass of water, and let us get right into the mechanics of cross chain movement. Most people assume that once they buy a coin on one network, like Ethereum, it is stuck there until they sell it back into dollars. That is simply not the case. You can move your assets across ecosystems, but you have to understand the bridge you are crossing. Think of a blockchain as a walled garden. The gatekeeper is a bridge protocol. Our first method for moving assets is the most common one you will encounter: the native decentralized bridge. Protocols like Arbitrum, Optimism, or Polygon have official bridges built specifically to funnel traffic from the Ethereum mainnet. You connect your wallet to their portal, select the amount, and confirm the transaction. This works because the bridge contract effectively takes your token on one chain, locks it in a vault, and triggers a minting process on the destination chain that issues a wrapped version of your asset. A friend of mine once tried to move $10,000 of USDC using an unverified bridge. He saw his funds leave his wallet, but the destination balance stayed at zero for 3 days. He was lucky that the protocol eventually cleared, but the stress he went through was entirely avoidable. By sticking to the official bridges backed by the networks themselves, you avoid the risks associated with third-party liquidity providers who might not have the reserves to cover your transfer. It is the easy win because the user interface is simple and the security is tied to the underlying chain. But what happens when you need to jump between two networks that do not have a direct native bridge? This brings us to our second point: liquidity aggregation protocols. These are your power user tools like Stargate Finance or Hop Protocol. Unlike a single bridge, these systems utilize a global liquidity network. Instead of locking your tokens and minting new ones in a complex process, these protocols have pools of pre-existing assets on multiple chains. When you initiate a swap, you are essentially trading your token on the source chain for an equivalent asset in the pool on the destination chain. This makes the transfer nearly instantaneous. In August of 2022, a major bridge hack drained nearly $200 million because the smart contract had a single point of failure. Aggregation protocols mitigate this by spreading the liquidity across many distinct pools. It is a level up because it gives you control over the price impact and allows you to move assets that aren't just base tokens. You can bridge stablecoins, governance tokens, or even LP shares, provided the liquidity exists on the other side. If you're finding this breakdown helpful, consider hitting subscribe. I drop deep dives like this every single week to help you navigate the complexities of decentralized finance without the headache. Now, here is where we get to the one I promised you earlier, the method that changes everything. We are talking about intent-based routing protocols like a cross or Rango exchange. Most people think bridging is a technical act of moving a token from A to B. Intent-based routing flips the script. Instead of you waiting for a bridge to confirm your transaction, you state your intent to have a certain amount of capital on the target chain. Relayers, who are independent actors competing for fees, see your request and fulfill it immediately using their own capital. They take on the risk of the network delay, and they get paid a tiny fee for the speed they provide to you. It is essentially an instant swap that feels like a standard transaction because the relayers are essentially acting as a decentralized front end for your liquidity needs. Think about it. You aren't just using a bridge anymore. You are plugging into a market of participants who are incentivized to move your money as fast as possible. In terms of reliability, this approach has the lowest failure rate because if one relayer doesn't pick up your transaction, the next one waiting in line will. Data from the past year shows that intent-based systems resolve transfers in under 30 seconds on average, compared to the 10 to 15-minute waits you experience on legacy bridge protocols. Once you see how seamless the experience is with an intent-based architecture, you can never go back to waiting for a transaction to broadcast on a slow, congested layer 1 blockchain. This single shift removes the fear of the middle of the transfer panic. You know exactly what you are getting, and you know exactly when it will arrive. It is more than just a convenience. It is a fundamental shift in how we handle cross-chain liquidity. You are moving from a state of waiting and hoping to a state of executing and arriving. So there you have it, the three core ways to move your crypto across blockchains. We covered the official native bridges for safety, liquidity aggregators for complexity, and the intent-based routers for pure efficiency. That third method alone, That realization of intent-based routing will save you hours of waiting and prevent the anxiety that comes with hanging transactions in the future. If you got value from this, share it with someone who is just starting out in the space and keeps getting frustrated with moving their assets. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive into the hidden layers of the decentralized web. I have a piece coming up on yield farming security that you are going to want to see. Until then, stay smart and keep your wallet safe. The crypto landscape changes every single day, and the tools that were industry standard a year ago are already being replaced by faster, more secure alternatives. It is not just about the money you are moving. It is about the mastery you are building over your own financial independence. By understanding the difference between a locked vault and an intent-based relay, you are positioning yourself ahead of the curve. Most users will continue to lose money on bad bridges or high fees simply because they do not know these three tiers of service exist. You, however, now have the framework to make those decisions with precision. Whether you are moving small amounts for testing or large amounts for yield, always remember to double check your target address and start with a tiny fraction as a test transaction. That simple habit has saved more funds than any protocol upgrade could ever dream of. Keep building that knowledge. You are already doing better than 99% of the market just by watching this through to the end. See you in the next one.